Mile 13. Last push.
What?
There's nothing quite like a good race to restore your confidence, am I right? I don't know how long it's going to last, but a fun, challenging, and ultimately pretty successful half marathon to close out week 13 might be just what I needed to propel myself through these last 7 weeks of training. So let's start with the good. 1. The half marathon went really well. Better than I expected, actually. On September 8th, I ran the Parks Half Marathon in Rockville, Maryland. The race itself was really well run, and the support and volunteers along the course were awesome. Without them, these races wouldn't happen. So if you happen to be watching this video and you volunteered at the 2024 Parks Half, thank you. The course itself was tough with 2 major hills that nearly took me out, but the weather was perfect, 48 degrees at the start. The super shoes were super, and I finished with a time of 1:54:27, and that is a 35-second PR. 2. Week 13 actually ended up being a relatively short week in terms of overall miles, all things considered. My first run of the week was only 3 miles, since I ended up swapping the original day 1 run into week 12, so it actually ended up being an unintentional taper heading into the race at the end of the week. Total distance on the week was just 28.2 miles, which gave my legs a much-needed rest. 3. Pacers. Shout out to pacers in races. I followed the 155 pacers for a good chunk of the half marathon, and I just have to say it's so helpful running with people who are focused on pacing instead of running entirely in your own head. Now, the bad. 1. The half marathon. Okay, stick with me now. Didn't I just say it was good? Well, it definitely was. But when I say bad, I mean that even though I raced well, I didn't execute my race plan well. My goal was to stick with a pace group and ride that out until after halfway, and then either decide to stick with them until the end or go ahead of them. What ended up happening is that I was with the 155 pacers for 10 miles when they rather unceremoniously dropped me. I had the urge to call out, "Hey, wait for me!" only to quickly realize that is not at all what they are there for. On marathon race day, I'm going to need a much more solid plan for my own pacing in case the pace group I'm running with isn't working. 2. Relatedly, pacing myself. I noticed this issue especially during the half marathon this past weekend. This was partly an issue with the pacers I was following. I do think they took us out too fast, but also something I need to be aware of myself. The sub 155 half was an 8:44 per mile average, which is well below the 9:09 per mile I'll need to get a sub 4 marathon. But that half took me out. I don't think I could sustain a second 13.1 miles at that 8:44 per mile pace. The good news within this bad news is that I know now that I need to start the marathon more conservatively, trying to stick with a pace even a little slower than 9:09 per mile for the first 10 to 15 miles could be my best option to be able to empty the tank in the second half of the race. 3. Fueling during a race. This was my 3rd half marathon in the last 10 months, and I've fueled during exactly the same way each time. I take a gel about 5 minutes before the race, and then a gel about every 30 minutes during the race for 4 in total. The first 2 during the race usually go down okay, but that third one is tough. And in a marathon, I'm going to need twice as much. I think a lot of it will come down to practicing on longer runs, but there's something about consuming those gels as your only energy source over the course of 4 hours that's a little nauseating. Runs for the week. Day 1 was an easy 3-mile run on my last day of vacation in North Carolina. I opted to run on the beach because, why not? I averaged 9:23 per mile with an average heart rate of 136.
Week 13, day 1. 3 miles today. On the beach. Trying to beat the rain. Mile 1, 9:41. Yeah, it doesn't look so good. Mile 2, 9:21. All right, that's 3 miles. Yeah. I mostly beat the rain, although you can see behind me, I think a storm is coming. Mile 3 was 9:04. Finish for today.
Day 2 was supposed to be 8 miles steady at a 9:09 per mile pace. I wasn't super confident heading into the run and didn't have enough time to complete the 8 miles. The 6.2 miles I was able to do went really well, and I was comfortably under the 9:09 per mile pace. My average pace for those 6+ miles was 8:52 per mile with an average heart rate of 140.
Week 13, day 2. The plan for today was 8 miles at a 9:09 per mile pace. Unfortunately, life got in the way this morning, and so I've only got about an hour to run. So I'm gonna do as much as I can in that time and say that's good enough. Mile 1, 8:54. Mile 2, 8:54. Mile 3, 9 minutes. Mile 4, 8:43. And it's time to try a new gel. This is the BPN Go Gel mixed berry flavor. I'll report back after I try it. Mile 5, 8:50. Okay, the BPN gel. Pros, the consistency is awesome. It's like almost liquid, which makes it really easy to go down. It also has way more sodium than any other gel I've tried, so that's good. It also has a taste, which is nice. Then there's the cons. The taste is extremely strong. It's almost sickeningly sweet. So I think it'll be good to work in with my Morton gels, but overall, I won't just be relying on those. Mile 6, 8:54. Ran just a little bit further as well to close out. Not quite 8 miles. However, if I had to do the 8 miles, I feel confident I could have finished the under 2 miles that I had left at that pace. So that's encouraging.
Day 3 was another set of hill repeats. Breaking news, these still suck. The goal was 10 reps of 90-second hill repeats. I managed 8 before calling it, mainly due to time, but also due to hill repeats sucking. Total time was 38 minutes, 33 seconds for just under 4 miles run.
Week 13, day 3. Just finished a 1 mile warm up. Now I've got hill repeats. For today, I'm doing 10 reps, 90 seconds up a hill. I found the best hill close by to my house right here. We'll see how it works. We're doing our best. Okay, that's it. Finished for today. Had to cut it a little short due to time. You know, life takes priority. But of the workout that I was able to do, felt pretty strong doing it. So I'll take that as a win.
Day 4 was my 3-mile Saturday run. Since I was racing the next morning, I opted to just do 2 and shake out the legs. This was a good decision. It was nice and easy, and I averaged 9:28 per mile with an average heart rate of 130.
Week 13, day 4. Out here for 2 miles today, ahead of the half marathon tomorrow. Mile 1, 9:19. Mile 2, 9:36. That's it for today. Just to shake out the legs before the half tomorrow, which is not a peak race, but something I'm gonna try my best for. We'll see how it goes.
Day 5 was the Parks Half Marathon. I didn't sleep a ton the night before. My wife and I went to a friend's wedding, and the race started at 6:45 a.m., about 40 minutes from my house. So I was up at 5 a.m. and made it to the start line about 6:15. This was plenty of time to do my warm-up before kicking off the race as the sun rose. Through mile 9, I felt pretty good. After a brutal hill about an hour and 20 minutes into the race, my pace slowed for the next few miles before I picked it up for a final kick to the finish. Total time was 1 hour, 54 minutes, and 27 seconds with an average heart rate of 151.
It is bright and early in the morning. I am out here today for a half marathon official race. Got my bib on right there. I'm excited to go 13.1 miles. It is very early. The race starts at 6:45. Checked my bag. Gonna do my warm up now. I'm gonna give it my best. All right, the plan this morning is going to be to run with the 1:55 pace group. I don't know if I can do that, but the good news is if I can't, I'll drop back with a 2-hour pace group. And if I can't do that, I'll drop back with a 2:05 pace group. So a lot of options. I'm excited. Never run this race before. So let's get it. About one. About two. About three. About four. About five. About six. About seven. About 8. About 9. Just finished a ridiculous hill. About 10. I'm struggling. About 11. About 12. About 13. Last push.
Good job, Dylan. Rather fast than lock, Dylan. Nice work by Gabby Sinat.
I did it. PI, baby.
Daniel Goldberg, congratulations on your finish in the park tab. Everybody who's down my voice, you're going to be a sub 2 today.
Oh my gosh. That was so hard.
William, well, good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that's it. An eventful week 13 is behind me. Effort and outcome for the week was a 9 out of 10. The funny thing about this is that I'm now in uncharted territory. My last 4 training blocks were all half marathon blocks. So after the half marathon, I got to rest. But this block? I'm just getting started. The really long runs are just ahead. In the next few weeks, I'll attempt a 17-miler, a 19-miler, and a 21-miler. Buckle up. It's about to get real tiring. As always, I'm grateful to run, and I'm grateful for today. 7 weeks to go. This is Foot Up to Finisher, and this is episode 13. Thanks for watching. See you soon.